This tutorial is to paint the Van Gogh's Irises. The colors are just so beautiful. I just love this painting. So what I'm doing differently on this one is I'm going to use gouache. I've got quite a selection from Da Vinci Paint Company. I haven't used these before, so I'm excited about getting these out and playing with them. And I'm also doing something different. I printed the outline on this watercolor paper, and I'm going to paint directly on this outline. Since the original painting has a lot of dark outline on the flowers and leaves, and actually on everything, I thought that it might be fun to just paint on this. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, I've mixed some sap green with a little bit of phthalo green just to get, it's kind of a cool green in some areas here. It looks like there's a lot of blue in there, which I probably will add later. But for now, I'm going to use, and that's a real pretty green. Probably a little darker than it needs to be. But with gouache, you can put some white on top. I'm just using a Simply Simmons round brush, size 8. Very cheap brushes. These stems have blue, they have green, lots of different colors in here, which I will add later once this layer is dry. Very convenient to print this out and just paint directly on the paper. We'll see how that goes. I have a inkjet printer, and it has pigment ink instead of dye, so hopefully I haven't seen any smearing, so that's a good thing. I was worried about how that might look, how that might work. Okay, so I've got the base layer for the leaves. Now let's mix up some pretty blue for some of the flowers. This is cobalt blue. I really like this, the consistency of this gouache. It's very creamy. Some ultramarine. A little bit of cerulean. Need some white. Probably more than that. Okay. Get some white in there. There we go. Okay. I'm just looking at the reference photo and adding this color to a lot of the different petals here. Just following the photo and trying to just copy where the flower colors are, where this blue is. Doesn't really matter what color as long as I get the values right. Couple of the green areas here. This paper has a different feel to it. Okay. It looks pretty already. Work on some of this ultramarine blue. Oh, it's so pretty. I think I'll add a little of the phthalo green there. Oh yeah, that's pretty. I'm not worried too much about staying within the lines. I just don't worry about that. white to this. It's a different value, sort of a mid-tone. I think I'm going to go for some of the cerulean here. Oh, that's so pretty. Adding a little white. Probably too much paint on my brush. I really love the brush strokes. They're just so beautiful. I'm trying to do my brush in the same direction as his strokes. Need a little bit more water here. It's pretty thick. This is so much fun. A little bit more water. It's a little pasty there. I'm going for the ultramarine here. Just mixing it all up here with all these blues. I like how the green has settled into the textured paper. It looks kind of cool. little bit more water here. Now I'm using a little bit, going straight to the white, leaving the blue on my brush to do some of the highlights. Kind of imitating the brushstroke direction. I just love Van Gogh's style of painting. I know he was a tortured soul. I feel so bad that his life did not last longer. I'm just dabbing here and there where I think it needs it. Not really looking at the reference photo at the moment. I'm just okay. I'm going to let this, see a couple of green spots I missed. I'm going to let this dry, then I'm going to add some yellow here and there for the leaves, the highlights on leaves. So let it dry. Okay, it's dry, and I've got some yellow deep and some white here, and I'm going to mix up a yellow. That looks quite bright. We'll see how it goes. I think I'll mix it with a little bit of this green. There we go. That's what we need. Just to make some of the, I'm using just the tip of my brush to add some of this. I noticed I missed a couple of blue spots, so I'm going to grab some blue here. I just love blues. Okay, I'm going to take some of this white, mix with the cerulean. Some of the leaves have some blue right here and here, over here, so I'm just going to do a little bit of this blue. With gouache, you can do light over dark, which is impossible to do with watercolor. This is interesting. I don't do a lot with gouache. I think I will likely start doing more. Okay, I'm going to let this dry and then work on the background. Okay, I lied. I noticed I needed to add some yellow in the flowers here and there. I'm not going to do the background yet. I'm going to dab some of this yellow here and there on the flowers. Oh, this yellow really adds a lot to these flowers. So beautiful. Again, I'm trying to mimic the direction of his brush strokes here and there. Okay, now I'm going to let it dry. For the background, I'm going to use this Titan Buff. I think that's probably the closest to what this is. Close enough. So I'm going to add a little water. I don't want it going on like toothpaste. Had a little green over here smudged from my hand, and I think that just kind of adds to it. Might be easier if I got a smaller brush, but I'm not going to worry about it. Need a little bit more water. Seems like it's toothpaste. I really like this gouache. I think Da Vinci paints are probably the most economical artist grade paints I have found. They're really reasonably priced. A little bit more water. This brush has a pretty good tip to it. I can do some pretty good detail work with it. And again, these are so great. They're cheap. Synthetic. They really are pretty good brushes. They should make me their spokesperson. Sometimes they're hard to find. Texas Art Supply, and not many people order from them online. I don't hear people read a lot of chat about that online on the Facebook group, but you can order them from Texas Art Supply, and sometimes they're like $2 each when they go on sale. These little pops of yellow here and there, it's just so pretty. This is such a happy painting. Just doing these little short brush strokes. It looks like that's what he did. Of course, he used oil. Okay, I'm going to turn this upside down to make it easier to finish this side. Need to turn my reference photo upside down. Now that I've turned this upside down and I'm looking at my painting, I've missed a few spots of blue in the irises, but that's okay. I'll get back to it. Well, I know that I'm going to be using gouache more often. This one's been fun. And I can add highlights afterwards. With watercolor, you work from light to dark. And if you miss that window for the lights, it's very difficult to get it back unless you throw some gouache on it. Oh, I like you can tell the brushstrokes with the gouache. That's really cool. Okay, so I missed some spots of blue right in here. So I'm going to fix some of my mistakes here. Not mistakes, just I left some stuff out. I'm going to do a little more dabs of some of this yellow. Get some more white here. Just a little bit here and there. These little dabs of yellow just bring sunshine to this painting. Okay, so for this bottom part, I think I'm going to mix. It's a very cool green. There's some of that up there. Probably, I'm not going to make a perfect match, but I'm going to use some of this Titan green, I'm sorry, Titan buff, and add some of this phthalo green and see what that does. That's pretty close. Just trying to use what I have here. I'm going to turn this so I can get to this a little easier. I admire the artist whose videos where the painting can always be right side up and they paint just all around. I'm not that person. I've got to move it around. Okay, since I used this green at the bottom, I want to use a little bit of it here and there to kind of bring it all together. Don't want that to stick out too much, so. I'm just putting it wherever I think it would look nice. Okay, I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to work on the vase. Okay, it looks like the inside of this handle is this Titan Buff, so that's what I'm going to use. I got just a tad here. Hopefully it's enough. Just using the tip of my brush. Now we need some white for the vase, the pitcher. I'm going to add some blue around the bottom once that's dry and around the handle and up here, and then I think that's going to be done. I'm going to mix whatever I have here of the Titan with this white because I don't want it to be like blinding white. I need a little bit more of that Titan, I think. It's just too white. And now I think it's too Titan Buff, but that's okay. I'm going to use some white. Okay, let me do some white here. Straight out of the tube. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry before I fiddle with it anymore. Just let it dry. It's dry, so I'm gonna put a kind of a light wash of white over some of this. Oh yeah, I think that's better. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay, when this is dry, all I need to do is do some of the blue outlining here, here, and check to see if anything needs to be done up there. I think I'm good there. And then it's gonna be done. Yippee! It is dry. Now I'm gonna use some of this blue, and I am going to have to get a tiny brush. This is real tiny. This is a 3-0. It's probably too small, but we're gonna see. Get some of this blue here. little too much there. Dab it up. This brush is so tiny. Now the inside of that is just too much like the background. I'm going to change that. I think that's better. I really like this. Okay, I'm gonna fiddle here. I'm putting a little bit of the white on my tiny, tiny brush. Just kind of dabbing it on this picture wherever I think it needs it. Let's see if I need anything anywhere else. I'm just taking a look here. Maybe a little here. Just here and there. Okay, I am calling this done. Okay, this is done, but remember, it's not done until you do this last step. It turned out pretty good. So here is a copy of the original. Such a beautiful painting. And then here is my gouache painting. I hope that you try this, and I can't wait to see how you do it.